Hello, welcome to the WAQ Show. I'm your host, TJ.
Bah humbug. I'm Matt.
And I'm Dan. Happy jolly cheer.
I'm pretty neutral. I'm spooky. We're talking about holidays, I guess, from Halloween to New Year's, like the holiday season, and how it just engulfs all of us for a few months. 3 months, 2 months, whatever. Dan, you go for it.
Yeah. So I personally really enjoy the holiday season for a couple reasons. There's some super annoying parts about it, but you know, that's kind of everything comes with the good and the bad, right?
Great.
But like TJ said, I kind of see the holiday season as starting around Halloween and then going through New Year's. And boy, this is like, how to put this? The holiday season is like having a long ass runway from like end of October to beginning of January, where like everything just keeps ramping up and up and up and up, and like there's positivity. And you know, this is a general rule of thumb kind of feel that I experience. I understand everyone's situation is different. If you lost somebody on a holiday, maybe you don't see it as that positive, or maybe you've always had shitty ones, so you never do it. Anyway, the general season and the kind of feeling and emotions in the air and in a majority of other people kind of infecting you is what I'm talking about. So there's like this runway all the way up until January, and as you're going down this runway, the hype builds and builds and builds, and then as you get to the end of it, you realize you're in a fucking car and there's a giant cliff at the end of the runway, and then everything just fucking sucks immediately after the holiday season. It's like, hey, New Year's is over, get your ass back to work. Boom, nobody gives a shit about anything, it's right back to where you were before, and that needs to change.
This is wild. We're gonna talk about it this whole fucking episode, but if you hadn't guessed based on the introductions, not a fan of the holidays, this guy. Dan, big fan of the holidays. Dan, that fucking cliff analogy you just heard. Matt, doesn't feel that way at all.
Yeah, which is why we kind of wanted to do this, and then I'm sure TJ will be his mediator middleman self, understanding both sides of the plate here.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm on both sides.
But
It's circular, they don't have sides.
Oh, but they have corners according to you when we're rating in Final Fantasy.
No.
Anyway, that's a totally different conversation.
Don't make me get into it.
Not right now.
If you base your system on cardinal directions, there are implied corners. Fuck you.
That's kind of my feeling on the holiday season, though, is like Halloween starts, and the reason that's kind of the start of it is, you know, that's the first holiday that you're really most people traditionally take time and effort to decorate for. And there's an internal purpose of spreading joy on some level inside that holiday. And that would be, you know, giving candy to trick-or-treaters. Because I'm sure there are some neighborhoods where it's still a thing, or maybe some countries or something, but tricking on Halloween isn't really a thing anymore. Like,
Unfortunately.
I guess people might still TP shit and egg shit, but honestly, I've never actually seen that happen to somebody's home. So it's really about like, oh, dress up in fun costumes and go out in the evening and get free candy from your neighbors and people at your trunk or treat or whatever it is, you know. And it's literally like most people are doing the selfless act of stocking up on candy and choosing to give it to little kids to put a smile on their face and give them some excitement for a few days.
TJ, did you say unfortunately?
Yeah.
Oh my
Why do
God.
you like the tricking?
You fucking delinquent.
I'm just curious.
When I was young,
because I don't imagine you participate in it, and I don't imagine you want your house TP'd or egged, so
No.
I don't understand.
Matt, he's
the egging, no.
He's the worst kind. He's the kind that'll put cat shit in a bag and then knock on your door and light it and run. Like that. He's into the real shit pranks, man.
No, no.
Is he?
So me and when my middle school, high school day, me and my friends, we'd hide in like leaf piles and scare people as they went by.
Oh,
and-
scaring is still around. I meant like literally, defacing property isn't for
we
Halloween.
did some TP.
Hooligan.
Not the egging or anything. Nothing that's like damaging.
Right. Okay.
But
I feel like
I don't
TPing is
think
damaging. You're damaging my fucking time.
you could just leave it up.
Oh,
No!
It's white. It goes into Christmas.
My God. I understand.
You're a
both
fucking
points
animal.
Of that.
I don't.
I mean, look. I'll put it
Just
this way, Matt.
just wrap some lights around it.
I'll put it this way: if somebody TP'd, let's say, the tree in your front yard,
Mm-hmm.
you could at least say, "Well, at least they didn't do something ridiculously worse." You know what I mean? Like, it's not excusing them. It's still a shitty thing to do, but it's one of
I feel
those.
like-
It's the least shitty things that could have happened. You know what I mean?
I fundamentally disagree with this argument. I feel like it's tantamount to being like, if somebody shoots me in the foot, well, at least they didn't kill me. It's like, just
Man.
because you could have done something worse doesn't mean that the thing you did isn't bad.
Well,
And I shouldn't be pissed off at it.
welcome to the WAQ Show, where Matt consumes every piece of concept of silver lining to ever exist.
I mean,
No,
yes,
I get your argument for sure.
I get that they
Yeah.
could do worse things, but I don't see that as an argument to not be upset at the less worse thing.
That's fair.
We didn't TP random people.
I mean, there's the actual argument that I was waiting for is you fucking hated the people you were screwing over, so why should you care about wasting their time?
Oh no, not necessarily. It was
I'm
it
right
was a
back
give
to
and
not understanding what the fuck you're doing.
take.
Uh,
You TP friends and stuff too.
yeah,
It's just so fun.
TJ, let me know if this is kind of close to the concept, because you said you didn't really do it to random people, so that would imply you knew them on some level.
Mhm.
It's kind of like it's like playing an online game that's competitive and looking for your friend and trying to pick them off and like kill
Yeah.
them. Basically, it's cause you know each other. It's like part of the
Or-
game.
Or like starting a cheeky little fire in the Minecraft house and being like, hey dude, what's over there in the corner?
Exactly.
Also-
you troll your friends.
Yeah.
Because you know that's a safer space to do that kind of dumb shit.
Okay.
I think that's what TJ's going for.
Yeah. I mean, he was
Okay.
right. Some of the people we hated, and that was more. We did a little bit extra.
And
for
like
those
I said,
people,
I
but-
understand that one completely. If you hate somebody, why should you care what you fucking doing to them? It's
Fuck
like,
you, Mr.
I mean-
Teacher. This is for that
Now-
F. Nah.
Basically.
Yeah, not quite that, but let's get real. When we're that young, we're not thinking, oh, the parents have to deal with all
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm gonna TP my friend Bob's house. Take that, Bob. Bob's parents. Where's that little shit friend of yours, Bob?
And I mean, I'm not exactly fucking innocent of the whole cycle of tricking. I when I was really young, like 6 or something, I went to a house and the dude's house was just his garage was open and he was sitting in the garage having a beer. And my parents were going trick or treating with me, so they were like, "Go up and get your candy." And in the yard, there is a scarecrow in a chair. And I was immediately sus. I didn't even know why. I was just like, this is fucky. Or, whatever the equivalent of that is for a 6-year-old.
It's like seeing Yellow run down the hall and then coming across a dead body.
Yeah. But I really wanted fucking candy. I think the guy was like, I got the big ones. Or something like that.
Yeah.
So I went up, I got the candy, and then I turn around, and the scarecrow is standing behind me, and he goes, "Ah!" And I, of course, fucking ran away screaming and crying. And if I was 6 at that time, 8 years later, when I was 14, I dressed up in a Grim Reaper outfit with a face-concealing mask and like skeleton hands, and I just sat in a chair and put the bowl of candy on my lap. I did both parts of the scenario. And if there were, I could see out of the mask, but they couldn't see me. And so if I saw like little kids, I would sit up immediately and be like, "Oh, hey, here you go." I wasn't gonna fuck with anybody that was 6 again.
Yeah.
I'm better than that. But when like 3 girls that looked like 12 and up came up alone, I was like, all right, this is it. I'm gonna scare the shit out of these fucking girls. And they basically stood in front of me debating for like a minute or two. They're like, no, he's breathing. You can see his chest moving. And like, I totally was like getting amped up for it. And I'm like, am I gonna get caught? And my heart was beating. And I just played it cool. And the older one was like, nah, that's a pump or something. They make it look real. He's fake. And I think one of them kicked my leg, and I didn't react or anything. And they're like, see, he's fake. And then the first girl gets the candy, and I did nothing. The second girl got the candy, and I did nothing. And the third one was finally like, all right, it must be fake. And she goes up, and she's like picking through the bowl, and she's like, oh, what are they at? What are they at? And I'm like, rah! And it scared the absolute crap out of her, and it was great.
See,
I
those
made Halloween.
I love those, the scaring and all that.
Yeah,
But
I guess technically it's wrapped up in the tricking, but I always saw trick or treat as what is like, it's a threat that the kids coming to get the candy get to propose. It's like, give me a treat or I'm going to play a trick on you. And the scaring that the givers do is totally straight up just for the atmosphere and the theme of the holiday. Like, I don't see that as a trick. I see that as, that's the risk you run going to get candy, is you're going to get spooked. You know what I mean?
And that's how it should be. I think
though, kudos on spooking the girl that picked through the bowl. I think those are the people that deserve the most spooking, are people
Honestly,
who are greedy about it or picky.
That was just a lucky thing. My plan was to scare all of them, but once they started debating and everything, I'm like, all right,
You gotta bank on one good
you
scare.
gotta play it right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I need to bank on one good scare. I'm gonna let the first two go, and whoever lucky number 3 is, I'm gonna get her. And she just so happened to also take her time and really start focusing on the candy, and I'm like, fuck yeah. You're done.
I do want to take a moment to, obviously there's different levels to everything, but there's different levels of being scared, and I don't scare easy. That's not to say I don't get jump scared easy, but I don't see jump scare because I think of I'm afraid of something versus something popping out and you're like, oh, and you flinch.
It's the difference between fear and surprise or shock.
Yeah.
Like,
and
fear is a component of the other two, but it's not the whole thing.
And I want to say that because I feel like Halloween's turned into
jump scare city.
Well, that's fine. I think there's people taking it way too far.
Oh, do go on. I'm
talking
curious.
about the crazy clown people.
The clown, yeah, that's a big one of recent times.
Oh yeah, you should not be scaring people off of your own property. Like, not like you can scare them away, but I mean, you shouldn't be like creeping through an entire fucking neighborhood or anything like that. In my opinion, at least where society's at now, that was different years and years ago. But at this point, like this, if you're responsible for the spook, keep it in your yard, kind of thing.
If what you're doing is reasonable to call the cops on you, you shouldn't be doing it.
Well, I would argue that some people are not reasonable about calling the cops. I think I've told this story before.
That's true.
I said reasonable to the call of cops,
yes.
not reasonable for a person, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, and I'm just saying some people are really quick to jump to that unreasonably. Yeah. I think there also needs to be some give the other direction of, it's fucking Halloween. People are literally trying to scare the piss out of each other. Mm-hmm. There's gonna be some weird spooky shit.
Yeah, oh for sure.
But if the person never gets any closer than like 12 feet from anybody else and is just doing the spooky creepy reaper thing, do not fucking call the cops on them. If you're scared, walk around with people or leave. Like, strength in numbers. The whole community is typically out doing this kind of stuff, and if your neighborhood isn't that kind of community, find a trunk or treat or go do it with friends or something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
I was gonna stretch it to like the haunted houses and mazes and all that stuff too.
Oh yeah, the big events.
But,
yeah, if people are calling, if Ooh.
No, I don't think people are calling
Okay.
for that kind of stuff.
I was like,
But-
if you pay to go into a haunted fucking maze and then call the cops on a motherfucker whose job it is to scare you, get the
an
fuck
asshole.
out of
That'd
here,
be-
Karen.
Yeah, that'd be messed up. No, I was gonna say I was gonna give two stories of it. I don't scare easy at all. The two things that
Big
scare me
man
are like
TJ, so cool. I'm just
Well,
playing.
well, there's a couple of reasons. One, I've never been in one where they're allowed to touch you. So if I know they can't touch me, I don't get scared. I can get jump scared in them, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And like we were at the entrance, and this guy who was he was scaring the crowd and stuff, like in the line to go through, and I just stared him down. And then Brittany started freaking out. It was funny. Because it was cool. It was all cool.
Yeah, yeah.
All that. And then another time we were at Cedar Point here, which is a theme park, and they turn it on to haunted houses and stuff. It's really cool. Something hopefully we do next weekend, actually. It's called Hollow Weekends. Anyways, we were in the middle of going through one of the mazes, and one of the guys scared someone shortly ahead of us. So we kind of knew he was there. And then instead of trying to scare us, he stopped, completely cut character. He's like, I love your beard.
Yeah,
This is like
good
that kind of
shit.
stuff happens. If the only thing that scares me, even in the don't touching, is like the chainsaws and stuff, and that's just the physical danger if they get too close and accidentally. Like I'm afraid of the accident of them.
Because you make the assumption it's a real fucking chainsaw.
Not even a fake one, or not fake, but like because a lot of times they are real. They just take the chains off.
Oh, that's.
But I don't know if
fair.
that's gonna. I don't know if that's gonna like hurt. I don't. I mean, it wouldn't do any significant damage, of course. But still, the
I
thought
get it.
of a physical thing happening, I'm like, nah. So those kind of freak me out, but a little differently.
That's cool.
But I've never been to one that they can touch me. I don't know how I would.
I don't think I would
react to
ever
that.
go to one of those, because if they could touch me, I'd be like, well, if you touch me, I'm touching you with my fucking fist. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna react, and if I think I'm
Yeah.
being assaulted, I am. Honestly, I'm not gonna be the big macho guy who's like, "Oh, beat your ass if you touch me." I might still be crying like a fucking bitch, but you best bet I'm gonna try to deck the shit out of you if you touch me.
I might not even have control over it. It just might happen.
Yeah,
You
that's,
pop
that's,
out, and then my fist pops out, and I'm like, oh shit, sorry.
Yeah.
That's more my fear of like hurting somebody
Mhm.
by reacting.
Yeah. Oh man.
But yeah, so Halloween's fun. I love Halloween
Honestly,
and fall and all that.
being an adult, yeah, I think we're gonna move on to like kind of the Thanksgiving time here in a sec. But as being an adult moving into Halloween, I'm most excited for, and now that I have a space to do it more reliably, I'm more excited for doing like a really cool yard setup.
Doing
Like-
it Monroe style.
Kinda, yeah. I'm into that because my dad got into that for a few years until a shitty situation happened that we didn't have control over and didn't instigate ourselves, but it kind of ruined Halloween for my brother and the rest of the family. It was kind of just bullshit. No one was hurt. But like we would get into it. There was one year we did the Mad Scientist Frankenstein thing. So my dad was the crazy doctor, and I was the cadaver on the table. And like the kids would come up to the front door, and he'd be like, "Oh, welcome to my laboratory," and we had like beakers and stuff set up and a smoke machine, and it was all done up, and we even made like this table that I was laying on, and he had like this pile of lunch meat hidden near my head, and he would take the fake cleaver and thunk it and then pull up some of like the cut ham or whatever, and the kids would be like, "Ew!" And then he would like say a line, and it would cue me to sit up. It was really fun.
Sounds
That's
great.
awesome.
Yeah. We did one that was like an Indiana Jones thing as well, where one of us was like in a sarcophagus, and then my dad had this cool Indiana Jones costume, and he'd step on the trigger and the smoke would billow out, and he's like, "Ooh, welcome to the Pharaoh's tomb." And we had all kinds of decorations done up on the porch, and as he cracked the sarcophagus open, I don't remember who it was, but someone was done up as a mummy, and we would like stick our arm out, roar, 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 and he'd close the sarcophagus on us again. It was this whole elaborate setup stuff, and it was so fun. Like I had
That's a
more fun
blast.
doing that and hearing the reactions than actually going out and getting candy as a kid.
I also, I enjoy giving candy to the kids now.
Yeah.
It's a fun thing to do. We haven't had time, or we haven't had much to do like an elaborate setup because we've only been in this house a couple of years, and then recent events didn't help.
Yeah.
But like the last one we did, I had my axe. I was dressed up as a scary lumberjack, and we had like the creepy music in our house going, and it was simple stuff, but still a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Matt, were you gonna say something?
I don't think so. I think the Halloween aesthetic is way better than the Christmas aesthetic. Basically, last thing I have to say on Halloween.
All right, but that's our thoughts on Halloween. I think pretty comprehensively. So yeah, you get to give out candy and spread joy during Halloween that way, and be festive and in the moment, and just have that sense of community with your fellow human being, all aware of the same concept simultaneously, which I think plays a card in that feeling of community that's important to the holiday seasons.
I have something as we transition to Thanksgiving and stuff.
Yeah, go for it.
It's going to encompass it all because I don't want to end on this note, so I'm going to say it earlier.
Okay.
I don't think Halloween is as plagued by this because it kind of fits in with it, but I feel like all the holidays are too commercialized now.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely the case.
I don't know if we want to talk about that at all.
Let's talk about that after Thanksgiving, but before Christmas, because after Thanksgiving and before Christmas is Black Friday.
Yeah, okay.
And I say Christmas, I mean the winter holiday of your choice. None of us are particularly heavily religious, if religious at all, on this show. Please be aware that we're talking about the season, not the specific holiday. So it's more about the festive season. But I say Christmas because that's what it's been called my whole life, just as a note. But moving into Thanksgiving, the joy you kind of spread during that period goes from, mass joy to the younger crowd of people to more looking inward and focusing on your strong connections, your family. Whether that be your biological family, your chosen family of friends, whatever you want to call it, your choice close-knit network that you choose to spend it with. It's about sitting down and giving them the attention that they deserve and receiving it yourself, and spending time together, appreciating everything that you've done for each other throughout the year, even if that's just been there to talk or hang out. It's about spreading that joy within your inner circle, which is really important. Also food. Holy crap, food. Food.
Yeah. And really good food, too.
Important question for the both of you.
Mm.
And I think I know Matt's answer. Jellied canned cranberry sauce.
Nope. No.
Cranberry sauce is disgusting.
Yeah, no cranberry sauce.
Fuck both of you.
You're the whack one. You're the whack one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll sit here whack with my fucking piles of canned cranberry sauce,
Okay, cool.
sucking them down every
you.
day till New Year's, baby.
There's one other thing I can't think of that I don't like. It's like I think it's like a dessert thing. But yeah, no.
Is it
no cranberry
the
sauce.
yams with the marshmallows?
No, I like those.
I fucking hate those.
I've actually never had them.
I love marshmallows. I do not like the yams with
I like
marshmallows.
sweet potatoes, and I actually am not a big fan of marshmallows. So
I think it's a type of pie or something
pumpkin
like that.
pie.
No.
Apple pie.
I'm sorry. I like a little bit of pumpkin pie with my whipped cream.
Pecan pie.
No, I also
All
love
right,
that.
we're not gonna guess.
It's
all
like a
the
weird.
pies.
It's like a weird fruit type of pie.
Boysenberry.
I do have kind of a general statement that more or less applies to all the holidays, except for Halloween, really, because Halloween is more of a unique event that doesn't happen in any other way, shape, or form.
Oh boy, here we go.
It always bothers me that Thanksgiving is supposed to be the time to be thankful and Christmas is supposed to be the time to give gifts, because I kind of just want to do that throughout the year. I kind of just always want to be grateful for my friends, and if I find something I like for them, I want to get it for them.
Yeah.
So it's always, I don't know, that's always been the disconnect for me, where it's like, they're kind of just food days to me, because I just try and, if I have the money and have an idea, I'll get you a gift.
I think the disconnect, because I think I do that too. If I see something one of my friends wants, I don't question it. I just get it. Doesn't matter what time of year it is.
Same for me.
I think the disconnect is Thanksgiving isn't, exclusively the time to be thankful, and Christmas isn't exclusively the time to give gifts. Those are the 2 points where it's intended that you celebrate that you do those things. Not, that's the day you do those things. And to be fair, in your defense, it has very much been popularized as those are the days you do those things. But I believe the intent of the holiday, at least the way I've internalized it, which I think is why I enjoy them so much, is you go throughout the year being thankful for people, always saying thank you to your friends whenever, they do something kind for you, get them small gifts now and then in Thanksgiving and Christmas, you celebrate the fact that you've been doing that all year, you did that last year, and you're going to do it next year. It's to celebrate the camaraderie, the joy, the strength in that bond, not to execute the thanks and the gifts. But like I said, to your point, unfortunately, I believe it's been socialized to be the doing, not the celebration of.
Yeah. And it's, I guess, I've always and will always be, or at least it feels that way, less of a social person. So watching...
And a big old Grinch. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, basically. I don't really like Christmas. I don't like the aesthetic. I don't like...
Matt.
The obsession with being nice on Christmas because it's Christmas. I think you should be nice. If you're the kind of person that only does good things on Christmas, I think less of the good things you do. You should just do them always, or go fuck yourself. Not that it's not good to do good things for any reason, but it feels a bit hollow if you donate to people because it's Christmas. You should donate to people because you can and want to.
And in some cases for the tax break.
Yeah, of course. Hail capitalism.
I still want to talk a little bit about Thanksgiving before we get into that.
No, totally.
We are going to talk about the newest holiday within the season that has not quite been dubbed yet.
Oh, and Walker's Eve?
Not quite. But yeah, I love Thanksgiving because it's a time where there's like this really weird thing in the social structure, at least of America, and I think in a lot of other countries too, where it's almost frowned upon to be, like, it's seen as a weakness to be openly thankful a lot of the times. And I just like that time of year because even people who aren't, like, publicly thankful come out of that shell and break that social expectation of, oh, I can't say thank you, that means I'm giving them power over me in the situation or whatever. Like, that kind of melts away for a few days, and it's just a nice feeling to know, like, people aren't trying to put up walls and be weird about shit, and they can just be like, hey, thanks for that. I know it was a really small thing, but I appreciate it. You know what I mean? So that's my favorite part of it, is just knowing that somewhere someone's had a really bad year, and the thought that hopefully on that day or around that day, someone they don't expect is going to come out and thank them in a big way or an elaborate way that they normally wouldn't. And that's going to help that person through the rest of the year. Like, that's just a fuzzy thought for me. That's why I like that time of year, between that and the weather. Yeah, I don't know. That's how I see Thanksgiving anyway.
Yeah, I see it pretty similarly. I also want to say, because I know we don't want to get into like politics about it and stuff like that, really. I mean, I don't. But Thanksgiving in today's world is just to be thankful for family and stuff like that. We're not people take it now. Some people I know in society want to say it's the history behind it with the Pilgrims and Native Americans and all that. We are not celebrating that. That is not what it is.
Good lord.
As a whole society. And I really wish people would stop trying
I mean,
everything that they're doing
most
for
of the
that.
people that do that are the same people that get mad. They're the same people that aren't the race that get mad at something else for being air quotes racist when the people of that race are like, no, this is fine, stop it.
Yeah, I know.
But in the same way that if somebody died on Christmas and that's why you hate Christmas, I understand. If you like are a native and you have negative feelings towards Thanksgiving because of the shit that was done to your people, I get it.
Yeah, I'm of the same mind.
It's like mostly the people that it's mostly like the white people that are like, Thanksgiving is murder. It's like, that's not what Thanksgiving is anymore. So chill.
Yeah, like it's really difficult because I'm on the same page. Like, yes, that time period of the year way back when was not a good thing overall, yada yada yada. But to Matt's point, that's not what it is now. I don't think there's, well, I won't say not a single. I don't think a majority of people who celebrate any of these holidays do it for what it was. They do it for what it is.
And understanding the history isn't a bad thing either.
Right, and history should never be forgotten.
Yes, but part of the history is the holiday becoming something else.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a perfect segue into our next point, unless anyone has anything else on Thanksgiving.
I also had a segue, but you go ahead and segue, and I'll just tack on my segue, because it's
Okay.
just a little thing.
Speaking of the meaning of holidays changing over time and the context of them, there is a new holiday people have yet to recognize and dub, which is the joyous time of consumerism, at least here in the West, called Black Friday to Cyber Monday. Brr, 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 brr.
Which actually starts on Wednesday.
God, don't even get me started. But this is like a weird time where I feel like it's become the venting point, because since Halloween through Thanksgiving, people are controlling their urges for all of the bullshit that they do on the regular basis. And during Black Friday, I feel like people are using that as an excuse to be a shit fucking human being for a couple days to get it out of their system to make it through New Year's, which is horrible.
It's like a mini, more capitalist purge.
Almost. And that's fascinating and terrifying simultaneously.
Yep.
I honestly forgot we were going to talk about Black Friday, and my segue will work for Black Friday to Christmas.
Perfect. I'd like to point out that it feels like the front half of this event, the Black Friday, which if people don't know why it's called Black Friday, just for context, it's because traditionally this point of year, because it's leading into Christmas and you just had Thanksgiving, this is when companies go from being in the red to being in the black in their accounting
profitable.
ledger. Yes, so they go from using red ink, which indicates it's been a loss, to black ink, which is a normal pen's ink, to indicate they are in profit.
I actually did not know that.
That's why it's called Black Friday. Now, I feel like the Wednesday to Friday now, as TJ has brought up, is like the evil portion of this new consumerism holiday. And then Cyber Monday has come in and become the saint and savior and says,
fire.
Yes, it's like enough trampling people in front of Walmart, enough fighting over deals in the store, just use the internet.
Yeah.
I actually have a theory about Black Friday. I think it's just an excuse for companies to push their excess stock to get money out of the things that aren't selling by selling them for cheaper, because they weren't selling anyways, so that they can stock up on all the Christmas shit.
I mean, that's part of it.
Well,
for sure.
I'll-
But there's some new stuff too.
I'll also point out that Black Friday, the reason it's called Black Friday that I've shared, is in most cases, to my understanding from best business practices. Admittedly, I'm not a professional in that way directly, but I am tangentially associated with sales and the
He's
company.
burgeoning unqualified here.
Yes. But to my understanding, best business practices is no longer bank on becoming profitable during the Black Friday season. It is try to be profitable every single quarter.
Yeah.
So, although this isn't technically an official holiday, it has already gone through a meaning transition, which I thought was interesting.
That is. Yeah, I hate Black Friday.
I have gone out on the Black Friday season, I believe, once or twice in my life.
Yep.
And I believe both times it was to a GameStop.
Yeah, I've gone to do some gaming on Black Friday. That's about it.
I went out
to get
once.
some of those deals.
And me and my 2 roommates at the time got the giant TV that you saw in my old apartment. And me and my brother, who was one of the 2 roommates, got a PlayStation 4. That's the one Black Friday I had. And it was a good one. We waited in line for like an hour, got in, got the shit, went to checkout, left.
So I know the couple times we've gone later in the day, and it was if there's stuff there and we can get it, we can get it. There was never any line. It was almost like a normal day by the time we went out. And yeah, because it's just not worth.
The one I went to was
all
a
the other
weird, like,
stuff.
it was at Target, and they opened for like 2 hours on Thanksgiving as like a pre-Black Friday
Ugh,
like
assholes.
pressure relief. So we went in at 9 p.m. and they were open 9. They closed the store at like 6. Or they closed it early so people could go home and have dinner or whatever. And then they opened it at 9. And then from 9 to 11 p.m. they were open. And then they reclosed.
Yeah, I hate it because people shouldn't be working. Like,
Yeah, like I
give them the vacation, all the stuff. Fighting and all that stuff.
Boy,
like, why?
Here's
Like,
something. Here's something for the holidays in general. If you go shop on a holiday, don't fucking apologize to me for being here on a holiday. Don't come in, and then I won't have to come in. You see how that works?
Yeah.
If you end up having to
Yeah.
shop on a holiday, do not apologize to the fucking retail person. They hate you, and saying sorry is only going to make it worse because you don't realize that you being there is the reason they're there.
I mean, I
I'm-
feel like that's
I'm guilty
why
of having-
they're apologizing, is they do realize that.
Yeah.
If they were sorry, they wouldn't have come.
I'm guilty.
Uh,
I'm guilty of having to shop on holidays. There's been times where I've had to go in
I
because something happened.
feel like
and I
in
need
some
to get
situations, sorry isn't enough, and you should just feel like shit.
just give them a tip. give them like a $5, slide in their pocket, be like, "Hey, this is my holiday tip apology."
Sure, that's at least something they could do something with.
Yeah.
But
Tangible.
you being there being like, oh, sorry, it sucks you have to work. It's like, yeah, why do I have to work?
But at least we can start getting Christmas stuff before Thanksgiving even happens.
That's a perfect segue, TJ. If you talk about fucking Christmas before December, shut the fuck up. Stop it. I hate you.
Well, I guess that's the end of the episode. We got to stop here, or Matt will hate us.
I mean, like, celebrate. You can talk about the day, fucker.
Oh wow! I mean,
I'm also-
you know, my brother and I are doing a family thanks Christmas in November.
There
so
are obviously exceptions. I'm not laying down the law in stone.
I'm
I'm not gonna chop
I'm
your
giving
head
you a hard
off
time.
if you do it. Clearly, shit's fucked right
I
now,
will-
and you got to do all sorts of things out of order. I'm mostly talking about like You know, there are some people, the second it's not Halloween anymore, they're like, it's Christmas! There are tons of
Yeah.
stores that are
No,
like,
it's not.
hey, get your fucking Christmas shit over here. It's like, there's a whole holiday. Also,
Yeah.
just because I am not a big fan of Christmas, seeing the Christmas era of the year expand every year is fucking exhausting.
Dude,
Um,
sorry, go ahead.
I was forgetting what I was gonna say. So you go.
I got an advertisement in the mailbox, and
Oh, jeez.
I know, right? Shocker. And it was something I was talking to a coworker about like 2 days beforehand. I was like, they have those lights in like they're like just strips of lights in a plastic cased tube, basically.
LEDs.
Yeah, like the LED row lights kind of thing. I was like, why don't they just permanently install those as strips on the like border of the house roof? And when they're off, they're super low profile. You won't even notice them. And then you don't have to put up lights every year.
Just turn your
You
lights
just
on.
turn them on.
Yeah,
I
that's
got an
nice.
ad from the city yesterday that's for a company called Everlight. Haven't even contacted them yet. Just thinking about it. So this is not like a brand deal or anything. And that's exactly what it is. They come and they install permanent light strips on your house, and you can just turn them on or off. And I think they have different light like color settings, and you just have lights ready to go for the season. I'm like, this is brilliant.
It goes beyond that, because then you can do red, white, and blue. You could do orange for Halloween.
There you go.
You could do all the different setups and then because I've seen some people around here like hang orange Christmas lights for Halloween, and then
Yeah.
switch them out and stuff like that. So no, that's genius.
I just thought it was hilarious that I was just talking about that as a concept, and then I got an ad for it a couple days later.
Now don't get hot headed at me, Matt. But like probably next week or the week after, I'm hanging Christmas lights, but we're not turning them on
Also, to be
until
fair,
after Thanksgiving.
it's only going to get colder, icier, and snower throughout the year. So at least doing the dangerous part before it gets bad, probably a
That's why.
fair exception, I would argue.
Yeah,
to the rule.
fair exception. Here's another thing. If you're one of these assholes that doesn't have your Christmas shit gone by New Year's, stop being fucking lazy. Don't tell me you just want to look at it longer. No, you're fucking lazy. You don't want to deal with it yet.
I don't know.
Christmas is done.
One of my favorite
It's done. It's over.
One of my
It's dead.
favorite things is seeing. No, one of my favorite things is seeing the lights and people's different light setups and stuff. We always drive around and try to
But
find
you
them
can
all.
do that before
It's
Christmas.
really cool.
We do,
Yeah.
and then after, it's fun always. It's just lights, but I'm also we're photographers and stuff, so
That's fair.
we have extra love of lights.
Yeah.
Things.
And I think that's part of the magic of the holiday season as a whole, and particularly Christmas, is like, I know it's all draped in the flavor of the holiday, but you get to see like people's personalities. You get to peek behind the curtain and backstage.
Mm-hmm.
And they put it out and they flaunt it as an entire display in some cases of, this is who I am during the holiday season. I'm super into it with the tacky blow-up Santa that you want to shoot with the dart gun. And I've got these icicle lights that are just beautiful and light up the night. And I've got, a giant menorah in my front yard, or, the way in a manger scene, or whatever it is. Like, you get to see the flavor of a person in these beautiful displays that they've put time, effort, and money into. And that person is probably not even an extrovert. Like, you could come across them on any normal day and learn absolutely nothing about that human being. But by driving by their house, you get to know a little bit about that person. And that's kind of just a really cool idea.
There's a guy around here that every other year he sets up like one of those shows where you can tune into your radio.
Oh, cool.
So it's cool. So he saves up his money, and does it big every other, which is it's fun. It's cool. But yeah, no, it's always fun to do that. And like our zoo does like the lights, so they set up the whole zoo with lights and stuff like that, which is super fun.
Nice. Yeah, there's a place here called Evermore Park, and it's like a year-round role-playing kind of theme park, like fantasy style, and they have like booths and vendors and stuff, and they have professional actors with costumes and things like that, and like nerdy D&D groups and stuff, me included. I want to go. I am the nerdy D&D group. Yeah, before anyone's like, oh, why you call me a nerd?
We're bigger nerds than you poser.
They'll like live action their group meeting at the tavern at Evermore Park to talk about the quest that they're getting ready to go on or something. And that like sometimes they'll dress up, is the stories I've heard, stuff like that. And this park does holiday events.
It looks beautiful during Christmas time. I just Google imaged it.
Yeah, and they're doing a Halloween thing right now that looks super fucking cool. Like,
I bet.
So just from a conceptual standpoint, I think that's exciting too, and like it's something everyone can like throw a hat into and participate in.
I feel like some of the people that could set up some of the best looking scenes like that are the nerdy D&D people.
Oh, of course, dude. I had this idea for, this is a Final Fantasy reference. I pitched it to Matt. I had this idea that for Halloween, if you know about Final Fantasy, doing a primal theme, a different primal theme every year. So you do like Ifrit, which is the fire primal, and then you do Shiva, which is the ice one, and then Titan, the earth one, and you've just got like different lights and then different pieces and stuff like that. Oh, dude. Matt, you know what I just realized about that plan too? You've got a soundtrack every year.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because every primal has its own theme. Oh, man.
Bahamut would be fun.
Oh, that'd be a cool one.
God, my favorite.
Now I just want to do a nerdy Christmas setup and just be like, oh yeah, it's Alphino and Alize's Wacky Christmas.
Just do Garuda and Ifrit, green and red.
Yeah,
There
that
you
too.
go.
The wind and fire I don't know fits with Christmas well, but
I mean, Shiva.
I mean, the
It's
fireplace.
like,
Cold
easiest.
winds.
anyway, not to get too off topic, but Christmas, we all know, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, it's traditionally seen as the season of giving. And I think that concept is still present. That's stayed true throughout the whole thing. And to Matt's point, I think you should be generous in giving through the year. Like, if you see something that's within your means to get and you know it would bring joy to somebody, why would you wait till Christmas to do that, first of all? So, Christmas should more be about the celebration of giving, and as a celebration of giving big, Matt, would be the perfect way to celebrate that concept. You know what I mean? So, and unfortunately, I think it's been the causal relationship, if you will, I'm using that term very loosely, has been flipped in the social aspect and understanding of the holiday. But I think that's the traditional understanding of it is, we are celebrating giving, so I am going to give big. Instead, it's become, I'm going to give big because we're celebrating giving, and that's what I'm supposed to do. Like, it doesn't... It's flipped, I think.
Some of it's for the parents to be able to save up for the year.
Yes, that's fair as well.
Afford it all.
I'll be honest, I am...
But,
most of my statements are much more aimed at the way the holiday is treated as a marketing
Society.
and social thing, and less the way it is treated in your house on your particular day. You do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
another
true.
thing that kind of bothers me about Christmas is Christmas is a lot of things traditionally. I'm going to talk about one of them. Traditionally, the point of Christmas is to have a celebration in the middle of winter because shit sucks. Like way back when,
Yeah, that's a good
when you
point.
can't heat anything, and you just had to harvest all your shit. The point of the Christmas celebration is at the very middle of winter. You eat a bunch of your food stocks that are gonna start going bad anyways, to celebrate the fact that from this point on, you are only getting closer to spring, or things are only going to get warmer.
It's very utilitarian.
I love the cold.
Yeah, interesting.
And so the idea that that's what this is for some people bothers me.
It's a lack of business for me.
That's fair.
It's a lack of business for a lot of companies.
Like, I love the cold
November
until the
to
turn at winter,
March.
at Christmas, to now we're getting closer to it being warm, is actually depressing for me.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
It's not like I'm gonna cry and be sad depressing, but it's like thinking about that, I don't like it.
Instead of a heat pad for you this Christmas, I'll get you an ice blanket.
To be honest, I would love
I got a cooling
I
blanket.
would love to have
and
a
it works pretty
midsummer
well.
celebration that was, yes, we're getting closer to cold.
To start it yourself.
Maybe.
Don't know
I
what
don't
you call
either. It's also so hot, I don't want to do anything. That's the other thing.
it.
Doing stuff in the cold warms you up. Doing stuff in the heat warms you up. So, doesn't exactly correlate.
Meltmas.
Oh, also, quick note on Christmas and winter and stuff. As someone who, for up until he was like 17 or 18, had never seen snow at an age he could remember, seeing everything in a blanket of snow during Christmas time is fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The 2 weeks later, it is grotesque as shit.
Yep.
It's like gross
Yeah,
and
dirty-
crunchy and dirty.
The dirty ice that snow that was on the road becomes.
The slush.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think is part of that giant fucking cliff in January.
So that
One
was.
of the.
Go ahead.
I'd say one of the prettiest Christmases we've had of late, like in the past like 5 years, I think, was we had an ice storm that came, and it was the night before. It might even been like the next day later, but it crystallized everything, and that was beautiful. That was really cool.
Speaking of ice and crystallizing, total side note. The last couple days I've had to go to work, my windshield has been iced over in the morning, and I was bitching about it to my coworker, and he's like, "Why don't you just put your car in the garage?" And I was floored. I'm like, I have a fucking garage I can put my car in now. That'll stop it from being as bad. Oh my god, my life has changed.
Yep. Just in case you're also not thinking of this, don't start your car in the garage without it being open.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Thank you for looking
Yeah.
out, but I'm tracking.
I thought the same exact thing. I'm like, just make sure you open the
Yeah.
door if you do start in the garage, open the door.
Yeah.
And you can do the trick where you don't have to open it all the way. You can just crack it enough. Make sure it's enough.
I mean, those fumes are warm. They're gonna rise. So, you probably just wanna
Anyway,
open it.
let's not talk about death by gas.
Anywho,
Let's move on to New Year's.
Well,
if we're ready, 'cause
that
we're close
cliff
to the
that
end.
you keep talking about.
Uh-huh.
It's the
precipice.
opposite for me. It's
Oh yeah.
it's like
Wait, why?
Yeah, he's scaling.
It's like so yeah, no, it is getting warmer, and I just talked about how I am sad as it warms up, but that doesn't detract me from being happy while it is still cold. So there's that.
Yeah, the next few months.
But it's like, for you, it's all of the happiness and joy of the holidays has ended. For me, it's all of the tedium and the constant reminders and the fucking holiday music that I hate, and the fake happiness. It all stops.
Yeah.
And so
People stop being fake and go back to normal.
yeah,
I
and
can
so
see
for
that.
me, it's like I've been pushing through this itchy, scratchy, thorny forest for a month or plus, and I'm finally breaking out into the meadow, and I just get to enjoy winter.
Well, if people would stop being fake, then that wouldn't be a problem.
Yes, which is part of my problem with the holidays.
But New Year's is kind of a weird one. I don't celebrate it the same way most people do.
You don't get shit-faced?
No, actually.
I don't either.
I'm not afraid of drinking. And I think both of you are aware of that. I typically don't drink a shitload on New Year's. I'll drink a little bit. But like people will go to parties, they'll be like, "Kiss me at midnight," and they'll go to Times Square in the freezing cold to watch a fucking ball slide down a pole. I mean, realistically, they're there for the shows and the shops and the excitement, but you know what I mean.
So, one sec. I lived there. I lived in New York City for a year.
I apologize.
And we were there. We didn't go into Times Square because I was just living with my dad, and we were wanted to. Some people were tented out the night before.
Oh yeah.
Like it's packed so early and you can't move. Like you're stuck there until midnight because as soon as you move, they'll take your spot. Someone will take your spot, and then you're out of luck. So
peeing in bottles and
all that stuff. Like it's not worth it. Not even a little bit. But yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the way I celebrate or have traditionally celebrated with my family until a few years ago, New Year's is we will go about our business and we'll group up a little after afternoon and we will sit down and we will play Dungeons and Dragons or another tabletop RPG style thing through into the new year. So every year we ended our year and started the next one playing D&D. And
That's pretty awesome.
I just fucking love that. The last couple of years we haven't been able to do that, which sucks due to reasons, but it just, I don't know. It seemed like a fun way. I got to end a year and start a year doing something I loved and doing it with people I loved. So
I feel like that's how it should be for everybody.
Surprise, surprise. Ebenezer Matt over here hates crowds. So I also never have been interested in a party. Or when I was in college, because you're all fucking idiots in college, drink heavily because it's New Year's and that's what you do. But everybody has that one time where they drink too heavily and then they're like, all right, that's the limit. This is why this is bad.
Oh yeah, I was there for one of those. I think, Matt.
I haven't done that on New Year's.
It didn't happen on New Year's for me either, but New Year's is a catalyst for heavy drinking. You remember the last time you heavily drank, and I've never gone hard since then. To be honest, I get a couple drinks in and I start to feel it, and I'm like, this is all right. I'm here. I don't want to go any further. Anywho,
to be fair, I think that's actually a good way to approach drinking in general, because like. This would be an interesting, different topic for a podcast, so I'll leave it at this and not expand on it more. But like, I think the best approach to drinking is to reach that early sweet spot where you feel good and you're chill. Because like, I just get sleepy and then really talkative and loud, and then I don't even know the more drunk I get. And it's like I miss that. Oh, I'm just drunk enough to like be completely relaxed and goofy and happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. I agree with that fully. The problem is some of us have a very high tolerance. It's so hard to get even to
that's fair. To finish out my point,
yeah.
Never has anybody told me something that sounds more attractive than playing D&D into the new year. New Year's has always been that day where I was like, people are going out to celebrate, and I'm not interested in any of that. When I was young, I would stay up till midnight just as the thing to do because it's like everybody's doing it and you want to be involved because you're young. The last couple of years, it's a night.
Yeah.
I just go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
But very few traditions sound appealing to me.
We just hang with a couple friends now.
And the
And just
tradition of
chill.
playing
Yeah.
role playing into the new year sounds fucking magical.
Sometimes it's hard for people to make it into the new year, to be honest, in our old age.
Yeah, no, you get tired and shit.
I'm good usually.
I just need to know. I just need to know it's happening so I can prep. I can stay up late a couple days beforehand and bring in energy, something, coffee or whatever.
Yeah, I like the concept of New Year's. If you celebrate it the way you want, you should end the year and start the year happy. So do something you love doing is really my opinion of New Year's. If that's going out and being with a giant crowd of people in Times Square, let it be that. If that's sitting, in your blankie robe and watching your favorite show on the couch, do it.
The people who timed out the Iron Man snap at the end of the year.
That's actually my favorite holiday-based
New
meme. Is seeing all the people that are like, if you
Yeah.
start this movie at 10:46 and 32 seconds, then right when this happens, it's New Year's. I like seeing all the creative
Yeah.
ways people like do that shit.
Yeah, and then just that cliff. I'm going to end really quickly on that cliff afterward. It just you go ahead.
Just real quick before you get to that, what you said about doing New Year's, just however happy you are,
Mm-hmm.
all holidays,
Yeah.
and all year. That's how you should celebrate them all. Whatever
That's
makes
fair.
you happy, as long as it doesn't hurt or endanger anybody else.
Yeah.
Mostly looking at Halloween, but
and Thanksgiving. Careful deep frying those turkeys, y'all.
yeah, for real.
Thoroughly thawed,
But yeah.
slowly lowered. That's the way.
Yeah. That's my kind of philosophy with life at this point in time, is just, you're only alive for so long. Spend as much of that time happy as you can, as long as it's not negatively affecting other people. But the cliff after New Year's is really like, hey, New Year's is over and the weekend wrapped up, get back to work. It's just, it's like, I honestly think there's a lot of companies where I'm at that are starting to do 2 to 3 weeks at the end of the year of time off. And it'll usually be like from Christmas through the first week of the new year kind of thing. And please, if you're a business that can afford to do that, do it. Like, because you're just going to have a bunch of disgruntled people working for you if, they just went through a bunch of happy times and holidays, and then you're, as soon as it's all over, you're cracking the whip at them. Like, give them a little time to come down from all
I feel
that.
for me at least, New Year's is the time to come down from Christmas. That you already get that.
I feel like there's one more day that should become a holiday, or just like a day off for businesses, which is shortly after New Year's. I guess a month, and that would be the Super Bowl.
Oh,
no!
After.
We do not need to further glorify fucking sports. No.
No, it's not that. It's just because the game goes so late.
Don't fucking watch it. It's bad.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Holidays?
That's not fair.
You're the WAQ one.
Because you choose to watch the Super Bowl, businesses should...
Well,
no.
You choose to celebrate
Everybody
a holiday,
does that.
too.
Yeah,
a lot of people watch
holidays.
Super Bowl.
Dude.
Fuck traditions. The only thing a holiday is good for, all of them, is, for whatever reason, all businesses have decided that this is a day off. Do with it what you will. If you wish you had more days off, turn your adjacent days off into that day. If you can't really move the Super Bowl and do that, guess it's not important enough. Bye, everybody!
Yeah, no. Definitely not. I don't like the idea that any kind of fabricated thing
arguably they're all
holiday.
Fabricated, but...
Yeah, you know what I mean, assholes.
That's all I was gonna say. I mean, if you take it to that extent, then yeah, they're all
I feel
what
like
it
you should be
is.
arguing the opposite. To be honest, though, you should.
Well,
you
then
shouldn't
what
be
about
You
Valentine's
shouldn't be
Day?
arguing that the Super Bowl is a holiday. You
Don't
should be
get
arguing that
Valentine's
the
Day
Super Bowl
off.
Yeah,
takes fucking less time.
fair. Or starts in the afternoon.
Anyway, I think we're good to wrap up here, guys.
Yep. It's been the WAQ Show. Good one. Happy holidays to everybody by the time you hear this.
Take
Remember to embrace the holiday season in your way.
if it's good enough to do once a year, it's
Yeah.
good enough to do all year.
So Super Bowl
No.
all year round.
That's not good. It's bad enough.
Christmas music all year round. You heard
Yes.
it right here.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Oh, I'm your host, DJ.
I'm Scrooge.
And I'm Dan.
And that's the WAQ Show.
Bye.